Excited for today's class on helping you realize that there's other ways to become happy and even happier than you are. And these tools that I've shared with you over this week, I know that there's tools and things and awarenesses that you may not even have realized or tried before or anything like that. And I know that non-traditional methods in healing, such as the things that I've shared and other tools that I use, are monumental in helping you transform and shift your life. And I thought it would be better for someone that has actually tried other things and gone through Fear to Freedom to share with you her experiences. So let me bring on Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte.
Hi.
Thank you for coming on. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. Today's a beautiful day.
Awesome. I love the doggies and the kids in the background. I mean, life is where
It
we're
is
at.
life. It is life.
Yep. And I also love your shirt that it says love.
This says love, and I just realized I positioned myself under love. So I'm surrounded in love today.
You certainly are. You certainly are. Well, for today's class, I would love for you to just share, to start with, how other methods you've maybe have tried, how they haven't worked for you, and how these methods of the healing that you've done through Fear to Freedom and other programs, how has that helped you versus the other ways?
Okay. So within many realms of my life, I have been
Is everyone ready to move on to
brought to traditional therapies. And I think that that's what people really think about first, is to speak one-on-one with somebody, whether it's regarding their own personal experience or to speak with a significant other if there's issues in a relationship with a significant other. And you don't really hear about other methods of getting past struggles for yourself. And I was brought to you through a friend, and I know that I have said it to you, and I will say it to everybody else. You are completely unexpected in my life, and I don't even want to attach the word therapy to you. It is a non-traditional method of releasing past challenges, and that was also unexpected. I didn't really know when I started with you, like what was going to happen and how I was going to transform and what was going to come out of all of it. And I do realize now it is a completely different way of releasing whatever I needed to release to become happier in my present life. And it doesn't mean that I have to sit in front of somebody and talk about all my past stuff that only upsets me. I don't want to live there. I don't want to necessarily bring up or dredge up the past to overcome it, right? Because that caused me hurt and pain and feelings that I already experienced that I didn't like, and I was still bringing them into my current life. And I don't want to live in that. And so meeting you and working Fear to Freedom with you, I mean, really, I have been able to release more than I have ever been able to release in traditional methods, just by, going through the steps in the process and being open with you and open to the process, and, really just allowing it to happen. And I realize now, like hindsight 2020, that it is a method of getting past all of that stuff. And for me, I mean, I will say it. For me, everything that I had done previously was like trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. And you are now my round peg in my round hole. And while this might seem untraditional to other people, this is what I need. This is what I have been called to. that I didn't even know, right? Like I had no idea that this would be the blessing that it is and what I needed and what I want in my life, and that this is the perfect fit for me. And so I know that if other people are trying, traditional methods and are not seeing the results that they want, and are still walking around with that heaviness that I walked around with, and whatever other feelings, like interject whatever word you feel comfortable with. This is the perfect way to see, like, to get out of that trying to fit the round peg in the square hole, or to get off the merry-go-round. I use that analogy a lot as well. Like, I just feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over. I'm on that merry-go-round and I want to get off and I don't know how. This is it for me. And so I don't ever see myself going to any other method, because this is what is working.
Awesome. I'm so happy to be your round hole for your peg. It's all good. That's awesome. With that being said, my question to you is, what I guess, where were you before Fear to Freedom? Like, what made you say yes to you?
So, what made me say yes to me? Wow. I'm struggling to answer that question. I spoke to you and I just knew in my gut that I wanted to be happier. I wanted to bring even more happiness into my life. I wanted to bring even more happiness into my family. I wanted to release the chaos that sometimes occurs in my life, or in the past occurred a lot in my life. And when I spoke to you, I just was like, again, this goes back to, I have tried other methods and it didn't work. So let's give something else a try. And I was just to the point where, like, enough is enough, right? Like, I wanted a better relationship with my wife. I wanted better relationships with my children. I wanted a better relationship with myself. And I didn't know how to have that. I didn't know where to begin to get it. And you are an opportunity. And I say this, I'm not an overly religious person, but I feel that God knocks in our lives and we have to listen. And, just as an example, I remember, very quickly, just as an example, I remember, like, somebody telling me about a salon I needed to work in. And I was like, yeah, I'll get back to that at some point in time. And then all of a sudden I was standing in front of that salon, after like a year of hearing about it. And I was like, oh my God brought me to this salon. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I worked 7 years in that salon. It was a great experience. And, like, I needed to open the door. I needed to hear God knocking and listen. And this was the same thing. I had already tried other methods. And again, I was on that merry-go-round. Nothing was filling me the way or releasing all the emotions that I was having about my life. And so this was, to me, God knocking. And I was just like, I need to say yes. I mean, a friend introduced me to this, and it's a friend that I trust and I love. And so, why wouldn't I trust her and love her enough to say yes? Which means I should trust and love myself enough to say yes. It was just all perfect timing.
I love your knocking analogies. If you were to look at your life right now compared to where you were prior to starting Fear to Freedom, what do you feel has been your biggest transformation?
I am a mom. I'm not just a mom, but I am a mom that gives so much to her family. And I was not making time or space for myself. In this current situation, my children are learning from home. I'm also continuing to work part-time out of the home. It feels that I'm doing 2 jobs. And I would give to myself in other ways prior to our current situation, whether that was going for a mani and pedi, just taking some time for myself. I haven't done that in, almost a year at this point. And so there was that lack of time for myself that I wasn't giving to me, and I was just giving all of my energy out to everybody else. And I now, through fear to freedom, I have really given myself time. I have really created a routine for myself in the morning that fills me up and makes me feel good and energized and feel like I can take on whatever happens for the day. Some days are more successful than others, but I have been given the tools to overcome challenges. And I'm learning to give myself grace when it doesn't all come together. But for me, it's that really giving myself that component that has allowed other change to happen in the process as well. But I think if I hadn't given myself that time, or if I hadn't made the change to give myself that time, then the other avenues and doors that have opened for me would have stayed closed. And so just that small piece itself has opened so much for me. So the gift of time.
Yeah, awesome. And it's true. The more time you take for yourself, the more time you have for everything else. That's really hard for people to understand that aren't taking time for themselves. If I would have told you that 6 months ago, just take time for yourself and you have all the time to take care of everybody else. Would you have believed me?
No, not at all. And even if you said it in the first, in the first time that I met you, I wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't have believed you then either. So it's the small things that have added up to big things. And it wasn't that I gave myself a chunk of time in the beginning. I did the work that you created for us or gave to us. And through that, doing the work, I then created this routine for myself.
That's awesome. And going through this 8-week program with a group of women, having the support of the group, having the support of myself, having the transformational exercises and homework and assignments, and what was that experience like for you?
So I love the group of women that I ended up being with. And I just knew that within my group, there were, I could say anything and feel free to say anything, and it would be a safe space. And I believe that when people say yes to you, it's almost like you just know it's going to be a safe space for you, whether you're one-on-one or you're in a group of 5 other women. You have created that space of just knowing that you're secure and safe. And so that just allowed all of us to open up and to be free with one another and truly give the support and care and love that I know each of us have been seeking in maybe various different ways, but each of us had been seeking it. And so we found it in a sisterhood. I mean, this group to me is a sisterhood. And new people that have been introduced to me because of you are also part of my sisterhood. I also know that there's no judgment. There is just everybody's on their path of healing and their journey and their freedom, right? Yeah. And so I think when you know that you're all on that journey together, then there's nothing that you could say that would be wrong or inappropriate or that you would be judged for.
Awesome. And I know that people do work privately and some people may have worked with a group. And so sometimes I get questions on being in a group setting, will I get what I need, not having the private sessions? So my question to you is, going through this group and being part of a group, were you still given things that were you still
Yes, the answer is yes. You don't even have to finish asking. Okay, so I have never done anything like this in a group before. It never has occurred to me. Again, I came into this situation blind and like blindly open. I've said that to you before, right? So I really did not know what I was going to get in this experience. I knew that I was going in with a group of women. I didn't really know what that meant, but and like I said, I haven't tried any of doing anything in a group like this before. So I was like, all right, let's roll, let's go. What's going to happen? And yes, I have found, I've gotten everything I've needed in the support. I mean, let's just go back to the conversation we just had a second ago, right? Like I was supported and I'm still continued to be supported by the women in that group, by the other women that you have graciously introduced me to. And so, and you, I mean, you're accessible. That's the only way I'm going to say it. You have given the opportunity to be accessible. And so I have taken that opportunity when I need it. When I need extra help, maybe it is outside of that group, you have allowed me to come to you. And that means the world to me. And I know it would mean the world to other people. So it's not just about the group. And if you need more, you get more. And I don't even know how to put that into words, but the group gives so much already. And then there's like a whole nother layer of like, when you feel like you need more, Brenda is there for you.
Awesome.
That's true.
So to wrap up today's session, is there anything else? Well, I have two questions. Is there anything else that you want to share about fear to freedom or working with myself that you feel that you want to express? I mean, you've shared a lot, so I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to share in that area.
I would just say to anybody who has a hesitation to be open, or allow yourself to be open. And that if you are hesitating, for me in my life, when I hesitate, it's typically a yes. It's typically that I want to say yes and I don't necessarily know how to say yes. And so take that hesitation and like take that worry. I tell my kids this all the time, like take that worry out of your brain and throw it away. And so I would say take the hesitation out of you and throw it away. And just allow yourself to be open and give the gift to yourself, because it's a beautiful gift.
Awesome. And the last thing I'm going to ask you is, who would you recommend to take the course Fear to Freedom? Not personally, but what type of...
No, right.
names out there.
Right. I would say that if you are, I said it earlier, like insert whatever feeling that you have that is not a feeling of happiness, not a feeling of just a heaviness. If you are walking around with a heaviness, or you feel like there's a dark cloud over you, or you are I mean, I hate labeling, but if you're feeling depressed, have anxiety, just for me, it's an overall sadness that I had, that I didn't really know where it was coming from, or what to do with it. And for me, that also meant that I had a heaviness that just embodied me. And I'm sure some people seeing this who know me are going to say, like, that's not how I know her at all. Because we keep things internally a lot, and I can show the world something else. But so anybody who's experiencing emotions that they do not like, that's it. Simple and to the point. If you're experiencing emotions that you do not like, that do not make you feel good, then this course is for you. Anything that Brenda introduces or invites you to join, if you have any of those emotions that you do not like and you want to get rid of, then you should say yes. You need to say yes.
I love your question. That's awesome. And so I hope that you hear what Charlotte is saying, and it reminds me of myself. And you said nobody would know that's how you were feeling, and I feel like there's a lot of people walking out around there in that fake happy. I certainly did for a long time, and it wasn't until that I did the work and did do the stuff that I'm teaching you, where I transformed my life, that I could become internally happy. And when you can be internally happy, the outer world is always happy. And so if you're walking around fake happy, as I call it, or that happiness, or just not in a place where you really desire to be, we were born to be happy. We were born to be abundant. We were born to feel good. And if that's not you, Charlotte, but you that's listening, I invite you to take advantage of this opportunity, because it is going to be going away. But take that call with Brenda. So callwithbrenda.com, book your awareness to call, open the door, take action, give yourself the gift of releasing and using non-traditional methods that maybe you haven't used before. With that being said, is there any last thing you want to share, Charlotte?
Just that this journey has been more of a blessing in my life than I could have ever imagined. And my family has expressed that to me as well, my children and Sheila. So, getting confirmation from your loved ones is always, I think, next level, uber special. And this has been truly an unexpected blessing that I will forever be grateful for.
Well, I love you.
I love you
for coming. I really appreciate you. And I look forward to talking to those that take advantage of the call. Have a fabulous day.